Hello friends, and welcome to another crochet tutorial on how to make this flower. It's not as difficult as it looks. It's all on one strip, and we use one small cotton skein of yarn and just pull the colors that we want from it. Come join me as we go ahead and make this flower together. The yarn that we will be using is by Lily Sugar and Cream in the colorway Natural Stripes. The hook I'm using is a G 4.00 millimeter. The yarn that we'll be using to make our leaves is by Premier Home in the colorway of Pickle Splash, which is a cool green color. Also, we're going to be using a tapestry needle. The reason why I chose this yarn is because it had a few colorways that I wanted to use. And also I could stretch it out to make it so that when I want to change colors, it'll already be there. You'll see as we go along. Let's get started. So to begin, let's place a slip knot on our hook. And a chain of 47. Please continue until you have 47 chains. We're going to skip 4 chains. Do not count the one on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. And into the 5th one, we're going to place a double crochet. Chain 1. Skip the next stitch, and in the next one double crochet and chain 1. Continue this all the way down to the end of your chain. Chain 3 and turn our work. Now as we do this, because of the yarn, we will be changing colors. That means we will be pulling extra out of our skein. So in our first stitch, 2 double crochets, in our chain 1 space, 1 double crochet, in our double crochet space, 1 double crochet. Continue down with a double crochet in the chain 1 space and over the top of the double crochet until you have a total of 15 double crochets, starting with our count 1, 2, 3, 4 I have done so far. Since my color had already changed, I'm going to show you how to change your color, or you could even use this as a scrap yarn project. So I am pulling the brown out of my skein here. And it stops right about here. So I have all of this that I pulled out. Okay, so I'm going to set it to the side. Since we're going to be doing a chain to go down, go ahead and place a loop on your hook and pull it through the chain loop. Take the other color and tighten it down. Just drop it behind your work and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Come down to the double crochet and place a single crochet. Now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You'll notice that as I pinched, it was to help maintain the proper tension on making these chains. Now into the chain 1 space, single crochet. And chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now into our double crochet, single crochet. Chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Into the chain 1 space, single crochet. Okay, so here we have our little loops. Continue using the double crochet and the chain 1 space for your single crochets until you have a total of 12 chain 7 loops. Don't count this one here, just count these loops here. So here I have 3. I'm going to continue on until I have a total of 12. We have our 12 loops done. So I moved on to my next color, which will be white. Oh, and by the way, this doesn't curl. I just did that. You should have your next chain 1, which will start where our flower petal goes. We should have 9 of these left. Okay, so back to our loop here. Let's go ahead and change our color. My next color is white. So I brought my loop through. I'm going to tighten my chain on my last color. Move them behind me. And then adjust the loop and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in this chain 1 space, we're going to place 3 trebles. So to do a treble, yarn twice on our hook, insert the hook into the chain 1 space, pull up a loop. To help maintain tension, I pinch the bottom so I don't lose the size of my loops. So yarn over through 2. I'm pinching the bottom of my treble again, yarn over through 2. I'm going to pinch the middle, yarn over through 2. Okay, let's slide our work over. We're going to add 2 more trebles. And there's 1. Okay, so we have a total of 3 trebles. Chain 4. And single crochet into the same space as our trebles. So here we've created our first flower petal. let's chain 1. We're going to skip this double crochet, and in the next chain 1 space, single crochet. Chain 4, three trebles into our chain 1 space, slide over your single crochet, there's 1, and there's 2, and here's our third one. All right, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and single crochet in the same space as our trebles, which is that chain 1 space. All right, I think you can do the last 7. Please go ahead and do that, and with your single crochet, and I'll meet you there. So here we have our 9 petals. You can see here I started to change back into the beige color that's on our skein. So to finish this, the last, before you cut it, make sure you have a good amount and then cut it and then pull it through the loop. That long one will be there for when we stitch it together. Now before we move on to that part, let's take care of this part. Here we have our loops back here. Cut yourself long enough tails. Let's tie a simple knot. Okay, and then with our needle we can go underneath the colors that match on our You don't have to do anything fancy. Because the rose is or the flower here is just going to curl right up. So you can go like that. Stretch it back a little bit and do that. So go ahead and weave in all your ends, and I'll show you how to finish this. So before we start the finishing of this, take all of your chain 7s and bring them out till they're nice and flat. Okay, you see how mine curled up? I'm sure yours probably did too. And then our flowers, make sure that they are all out flat too. Okay, well, let's begin. We're going to take this end and just start rolling it. Not tight, just loose. And here's my center. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next color. If you keep it loose, this will fit over here. Nothing fancy, everything is just getting rolled on top of each other. Okay, so the beginning and the end of this loop should start just like that. So if you need to loosen your flower just a tiny bit like I do, and then bring it back around, there we go. Then keep on rolling, nothing fancy, everything's at the same level. Nice and slow. Okay, let's stretch this open just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, So now we're going to take our pieces up from the back, and with our needle we're going to go through and through and through to keep everything intact. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that my loops all stop and start at the same place, and then I'm going to come to the front and make sure everybody stops and starts. And see, the nice thing about this chain, that it's the same color, it blends right in. I'm going to take this and open it up just a little bit, give it a little character. Okay, so let's go ahead and stitch this in. Starting at the end, just cut right through everything. Not tight, and then come back and then go into a different direction. Make sure you pick up your middle piece when needed. Oops. Notice how I'm kind of just going around and around. Okay, and let's see if this will be enough. So if we pull on it, yep, everything seems to be holding in place. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this off. Now, if you keep this yarn a little long and you choose to sew it onto something like a purse or a hat, this would be a good thing to have. So I'm going to leave that extra on there because I will sew mine onto a hat. So I'm going to lock this in place. And sit here and ooh and ah, oh how pretty. Okay, so next let's go ahead and work on our leaves. As you can see, I've already pulled some of my yarn out, but we're going to start with a magic circle. And make that first chain onto your hook or onto your loop, and then what I like to do, I found it to be easier, is to tighten that first chain onto your magic circle. Let's chain 2, half double crochet, double crochet, extended double crochet. I'm going to show you how to do that one. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over through the first loop only on the hook, and that'll give us just a tiny bit of height, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through 2. See how it's just a tiny bit higher than that double crochet? Next we're going to do a treble. So yarn over twice, through 2, through 2, through 2. Okay? And then the next one we're going to do is the double treble. So let's 1, 2, 3 times on the hook. Bring up a loop, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. Seems like we're going through a lot of 2s here. All right, and chain 3. We're going to make a little picot on the top through the chain loop and the top loop of our double treble, and complete a single crochet. Now we're going to go backwards. So everything that we just done, we're going to do it again. double treble, so that means 3 wraps on your hook, drop a loop, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. I'm going to do a treble, 2 wraps on the hook, okay, you remember the extended double crochet, so 1 wrap on the hook, bring up your loop through that first chain. I threw you off guard, didn't I? Okay, now double crochet and half double crochet, chain 2 and single crochet onto our magic circle. Let's go ahead and pull it closed. We have us a really cute leaf. Oops, I almost grabbed the wrong yarn. Okay, let's add a chain of 1, 2, and 3, and let's go back with a slip stitch. This will give us a little trim tail. So now that we're back there, let's go ahead and slip stitch into the bottom of that chain. Okay, cut our yarn, and let's finish it off. We're going to be making 2 of these. Looks good, doesn't it? Let's make a second one using the same guidance for the tutorial, and I'll meet you in a second to show you how to sew it on. Oh, make sure you leave a tail on it so we can sew it on. So I'm going to take the ending from the last stitch and bring it to the center, and then I'm going to bring the magic circle tail into my needle as well. Never fails. On camera it doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do. So sorry about that. Alright, let's extend it out. I'm going to go to the stem here. You want to place the right side up, like so. Now remember, this is my sewing on the hat tail. That's why you still see it. And we're going to tack this right here. And just go up, go down, do it one more time. And then I'm going to take one of the yarns out, and kind of lock it in. And just place a square knot on the top. So here we have one leaf sewn on. Go ahead and sew on your other one, and then we'll call it a day. And here we have our finished flower. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you come back and visit me again. My name is Garnet, and I appreciate you being here with me today. So till next time, bye-bye.